Did it go live on Discord? Did it go live on Twitch? Hold on. Hold on. It didn't pop up a Twitch thing. Okay, we're good. Hello. Hello. No JW today again. Which is okay. Honestly, might be better. Today, let me set up a thing. Give me a second, actually. Hello. Hi, Kilippo. How's it going? Hello. Give me just a moment and we will get started on some game dev. Okay. So today should be a pretty chill day, I think. There's no JW here for this stream and next stream. I think he'll be back on next Sunday though, depending on whether or not we're watching Evo. But I just got a couple of things that I want to do because where's my Godot? Hello, Godot. What is this? Just a video from YouTube that I posted about composition. Now I'm streaming. Is pretty sweet. That's nice. It's kind of funny that you're on Twitch and that you found me from my YouTube video. That is really funny. Let me kill this enemy really quickly. Actually, you should not be there. Start room. Oh, you're on YouTube. You prefer Twitch. Fair enough. Yeah. Now I get that. I prefer the chat of Twitch typically, or the chat experience of Twitch, but I prefer watching streams on YouTube. I don't know. Twitch chat has like a better vibe to type in. Let me restart this and make sure this guy is not like absolutely losing his mind. Okay, yeah. There's a couple things that need to be fixed. I want to do a little bit of polish stuff today because I think some of the polish stuff that was present. Sorry, this music still feels a little loud for me. Some of the polish stuff that JW worked really hard on, I feel like has been kind of lost a little bit. Not his own fault, but my fault because I've been doing some system stuff. Am I taking questions? I am. Yeah, always. Feel free to ask any and all questions about anything. Preferably something Godot that I can answer, but if you've got other questions, feel free to ask. Those what? Hold on, there's a bug there that needs to be fixed as well. So one of the big things that I feel like is missing from the game is just a little bit of polish as of recent. So you'll see that if I go into this other room, there's like these cards that fly up. That's annoying that just happened. So I kind of wanted to fix some of the polish issues that are happening right now. And that's mainly what we're going to do today, I think. Because I think most people that like this game because of how good it feels from a game feel standpoint. And I've kind of killed a little bit of that. So I want to bring that back. So, like, for example, first thing is I'm going to go to the flying enemy and I'm going to turn off his debug renderer because that's getting really annoying. Debug disabled. Do you think you could start the next lives earlier? That's a great question. I'm not entirely opposed to it. However, as you can see, it's 6:30. I get off work at like 5. So that gives me like an hour and a half between when I'm done doing my day job and streaming. So I'm not entirely opposed to it. It's just that I like to have some breathing room between work and streams to kind of like decompress from real life programming and switch over to fun programming. Let me see. So yeah, his debug renderer is off. That's just one quick thing that I can do. Another quick thing I can do is in here. I have this stupid fucking thing which is mainly... Let me kill all the enemies in the room. I should have a debug button to kill all the enemies, I think. Fuck, there's, I think room, like, 1 was one of the rooms that had... Oh, no, that's the room I was just in. Just kidding. I don't know what I'm talking about. This is the room that I already completed. So a room like this, because the room hasn't actually started, whenever you walk into it and redeal cards, it does this little animation. I hate it. It takes way too long. It clogs up, like, the time and everything. I don't like it. So I think I'm just going to disable that, which probably means I'm just going to kill this. I'm going to get a bunch of red lines in here. Not just one red line, I guess. Add card, visual. Let's kill this guy, and then do we have... Sorry, what was that function? Add cards. You will not be called anywhere, I don't think. Let me read this. I'm trying to build my game leveraging mostly composable architecture and event-driven stuff. To this, you don't really have any manual scenes. Enemies are generated from an entity.gd and then add component func. Is that a reasonable thing to do, or are you going too far down the composable route and it's fine to have like a player entity and whatnot? So that one kind of comes down to preference. That looks weird. That looks really weird, actually. So that kind of comes down to preference. Why? Sorry, something happened. Disconnect navigation region. Ah, I see. Yeah, so that honestly kind of comes down to preference because I think it's a cool idea. But as you can see, we aren't doing that here. We are kind of making our own enemy scene. Like, this is a grounded enemy, and then we have like a flying enemy. We have a flying enemy, and they kind of all have the same, like, the components are reusable, but we're not like creating one generic scene. Me personally, wouldn't go down the route of generating the scenes and enemies and stuff from one entity.gd file. I personally like having these individual files where I have all of the components and I can visually see what's going on in each of them. You totally could do it the way that you're describing, and if it's working for you, then do it. It's just, in my mind, that seems like a little bit too much. How do I use components as nodes instead of resources? Because I really like being able to see them in the tree. If I were to do components, you could do like actual, like a list of components over here. But at that point, I would have to click on the node and then look over here and see this. I don't know. Having them be here makes more sense to me because it's visually easier to see. And it also makes it easier, like if, let's say that this was a component, I would have to click into this. Well, that's not a good example. Let's say this was a component. I would have to click into this and then like there would be this over here. And let's say there was like a nested resource or something, you would keep burrowing down and this would end up being like a really clogged inspector. Whereas having the components over here, I can kind of just like click on this and then I have everything dedicated to this over here. There's not like a benefit to using components as nodes or resources. It's kind of just personal preference, to be honest with you. There is an argument to be made. Resources are slightly more performant because they don't exist in the tree. But like, I don't think it makes enough of a difference to really warrant it breaking your personal preference. So whichever one you prefer. Similarly, there is also an argument of like, for example, this component doesn't need to be a node 2D because it doesn't need the transform information. Maybe we'll fix that one day, but like it doesn't really matter that much. So just personal preference is the answer for basically both of those. Oh, I guess also actually about the generated entity from one file, one thing that could come up from that is it depends on where you're storing the information to generate the enemy. So if you're storing it inside of a script, you might have to read through a bunch of code to figure out why this component's being added or this component's being added, or you have to add exceptions in these cases. I don't know what yours looks like. But for mine, like if I have a melee enemy that I for some reason just want to add an extra component to that no other melee enemy has, I just have to go into the scene and I can add the component here. So it feels, I don't know, it's very much more GUI focused than code focused, but I kind of like that a little bit. And it also makes it easier for if you're doing collaboration with like an artist or something, they don't have to read through your script to figure out where everything is. So I guess that's one thing to keep in mind. If you're doing it by yourself, it doesn't really matter. But if you have collaboration with someone who doesn't really like reading code. It seems pretty much everything in his scene tree has a GD file and a TRES file. Everything in his scene tree has a GD file and a TRES file. GD file makes sense because of the script. But what do you mean by it has a TRES file? I haven't watched a lot of DevDuck stuff in like a while, so I can't imagine what that looks like off the top of my head immediately. Or if you had a video of his that has a specific example and felt like sending that, I would be able to look at that and kind of explain maybe what he's doing, why he's doing it, and whether or not it's worth doing for various various parts of games. Have I been using AI tools to help me code or debug? Not a chance. I hate AI. But thanks for asking. Okay, I didn't connect this inside of room 4. Okay, I'm just gonna go through my rooms and make sure this is set up. So I'm gonna go into room 1.tscn and make sure so navigation region is set. Room 2. Actually, these should be in the file system, so I can just go through these one by one. I thought I did this last stream, but I guess I forgot. No, I didn't. Room 3. Oh no, maybe I did. Hold on. No, I didn't. We're just lying to me, apparently. Must connect navigation region. If not, navigation region. For room 4. What the heck are you talking about, man? Oh, because you're not the correct class type. I see. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Not TRES, TSCN. Here's a link to the spot that. Okay, yeah. So TSCN files. So we do have those a lot. Like for example, so almost everything has like here. You can see we have the script and scene. We have the script and the scene. We have a script and a scene. We have those all over the place. The main reason that's a common pattern is just because like you want your top level one to have a script, I guess. Basically everything is a scene and has a GD. Kinda. So for example, like we have this the smooth progress bar, which I believe was down here. So we have this overall scene, and we just have this one script at the top to manage everything, because we don't really need to like componentize this. So it's just like a scene has a script, and that's kind of it. I'll take a look at this video though and see. But how expensive are some viewports? Don't know. Haven't ran into an issue with them though, so I don't think they are significantly more experienced than not using them. Let's see. Let's take a look at this. Hello, DevDoc.
Item suffix in the name to tell me.
Okay, yeah. So this is probably just like the top level node, and then I'm actually not entirely sure what he's got going on organization-wise here, because I'm not familiar with his project.
My item class. I have folders again within tools like foraging, which contains a foraging tool item.gd script, which, as you can probably guess, extends.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about it, but yeah. Yeah, those are just entities. Yeah, fair enough. Let's see. Oh, there was actually another thing I wanted to do with my navigation stuff. So you need to be the custom class, you need to also know of this. Sorry. These are node 2Ds. Can I just make this a node array and then like let it, will it just work by chance? Can I just say like you rebake? Looks like it worked, I think. Yeah, okay, cool. One more thing I wanted to do in the node or the navigation region is I wanted to make sure that region 9 is set up. So let's do this. So you... is there a chance I can just like set navigation layer value? There is a chance. The chance is 100%. So layer... Oh, wait, no, shit, sorry. It's under the navigation polygon. Sets layer... No. Okay, hold on. Navigation polygon... Geometry parse collision mask. Parse... Collision mask. I don't think I can do set mask. Can I? Oh, I can. Okay, dope. I believe it's layer 10. Yeah. And then I can... I'll actually do this inside of refresh, I think. Rather than ready. I think that's probably fine. Okay, I lied. It should be detecting this. Oh, because I didn't include the exits, I guess. No. Wait, what? Hold on. Godot's being upset about something. Okay, there we go. And then that works. Cool. Any errors? No errors. Okay, dope. Hey, Stobach. I am working on a roguelike with my friend. He made the visuals for this and a lot of the old programming, and then I came on as the programmer. But he's gone currently for a week. For enemies that cannot fly, to use navigation stuff or custom logic. Custom logic, unfortunately. We might revisit it in the future, but our current logic for grounded enemies, I can actually show you. I guess right here. So his logic is basically he'll try to move to the player. If he can't reach a spot where he can hit the player after a certain delay, he will just move off in a direction for a little bit of time, and then he will eventually turn around. If he detects a ledge and the player's above him, he jumps. Otherwise, he just kind of works his way towards the player, and when he gets in range, he'll try to hit the player. It's not beautiful, but you can't really use the built-in navigation stuff in a useful way, unfortunately. At least from what I've seen. In your experience, can you typically use an event bus pattern without having to worry too much about race conditions? So I have ran into that with this project. That's at a certain point, is I tried to use an event bus a little bit too much in a spot that it didn't make sense. In Godot, you don't really have to worry about race conditions too much because signals are run inline. They're not like a deferred thing. But you can end up in signal hell where you have like, you know, you have signal A, or like an object A, which emits a signal, which calls a function in object B, which emits a signal, which calls a function in object C, which then waits a frame, you know, for a frame, which then emits a signal caught by object A, and you end up in this like infinite loop of just like signal hell. That's annoying, but other than that, if you just like avoid that, that's not like the biggest deal. The particles, I don't know. I can take a look. I think he just has particles attached to the player. I'm assuming you're talking about like the the like smoky particles, like I'm just going to outline them here. These like smoky particles back here. Or you're talking about these little dots that are floating. I believe both of those are just attached to the player. Let me double check. Smoke particles? Yeah, smoke particles are attached to the player. And spark particles are also attached to the player. So he just has these. If you're interested. Sorry, Cave Story. Next song. If you're interested, I guess here's some information about the particles. I don't know. So it's just gravity, linear excel. Ugh, I don't know what the fuck is going on in here. You found an A-Star 2D tutorial for gravity-affected bodies that requires a tile map. If you had that on hand, that would be really cool information. You don't really have to go searching for it, though. It's not like the biggest deal. He's getting larger. I don't know what the hell he's doing. Also, these need to be baked again. I just realized. Yeah, there we go. What was I doing? Okay, I need to fix the navigation regions. You'll send it to the Discord if you find it. Appreciate it. Don't worry too much about it, though, because what we have works for now. I would love to replace it with something great eventually, but it doesn't need to be great. It just needs to be consistent. Cool. Okay, and then toss the exits in here and rebake. And it didn't rebake because, I don't know. Someone's upset about something. Godot's getting cranky right now. And now I get to start the boring process of going through all of these and making sure these have the correct navigation region setups. Oh, I think I unassigned room 4, right? I did. Okay, and back to room 5. You do not have a navigation region set up. Is this a Gay Boy stream? You're in the wrong place. He's gone for a week. So when he comes back, it'll be at twitch.tv/TemperaCatGames. Just for your reference. Get the shit out of here. Get out of here. Go. Oh, also in really cool news for anyone who knew, I think I'm swapping ADHD medications again, which is really, really cool. Because I do not think this one is doing it for me. Oh, you sent it? Let me see. Where did you send it? Let's see. Let's take a look at this. Let's crack this video open and take a look. Oh, it's using like a graph. It's building like a graph at the edges of tiles, it looks like. Placing the face. Creating the face? What do you mean creating the face? Placing the face? What are you talking about, the face? Oh. Oh, interesting. Okay, so I'm assuming what it's doing is it's sampling each point on the tile map, and if there's a tile directly below it, it places the face because it sees that as open ground. And then I imagine that it's probably building a Dijkstra map type of thing out of that for each of the connections. Like, I would imagine there'd be a point here and a point here, but not in any of these spots because they're all... There's no, like, connection here, whereas the connection would be up to this thing. Kind of cool. Asynchronous in the graph. Oh, here's my cat. Here it comes. Okay, sorry, I had to mute my microphone because she immediately jumped into it. Hello, baby. Okay, that's interesting. I will definitely keep that in mind. Thank you for sending that in game dev resources. I really appreciate it. Let's see. Sorry, let me scroll back up and catch up with people. You were just rewatching one of my tutorials. Inspired you to make a first video game. I was streaming. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. I'm glad that it was able to inspire you. I'm glad that it's always cool to hear that people get use out of those videos, even though they're kind of old. Yeah, we use state machines. I made a video on state machines, but we use state machines quite often for things that have simple logic. So for ground enemy fire, whatever his naming scheme is. Yeah, we have a state machine for the different states for this guy. That's the guy that moves back and forth down here. So, like, because his logic is pretty simple. He's in the follow state right now. He's trying to get close to the player. He's in the charge up state, then the attack state, then the charge state, the attack state, and then now he's in the... Or no, sorry, no, he's got wander, follow, and attack. So he's in attack. Now he's in follow. And then if he can't reach the player within a certain amount of time. So like this. He is now in the wander state. So he'll kind of just move around. And now he's back in follow. Yeah, use state machines all over the time. All over the place. How long does it take to get good enough with Godot to build whatever you imagine? There is no one answer for that. It's kind of just... I mean... You kind of just build things. And then eventually you will learn all of the individual parts you need to make whatever you want. At the end of the day, a lot of the limiting factor becomes just time. It's like, it takes time to do a lot of stuff. It takes time to learn stuff. Give me a second, I need to read this. In my type of game, is your assumption that I have a game manager that sort of manages all the meta stuff? Each room is its own thing with a main GD file that sort of manages all the entire interaction with that room. Just a folk test. I don't know what that is. Streams instead of working. Oh, that was about ADHD medications, I think. I'm back on Adderall today because the medicine they swapped me to, which was Ritalin, was not doing enough. So I'm on Adderall today for streaming, but I'm talking with my psych later this week, and I believe she's going to put me on a non-stimulant. But so the way that we have our game set up, let me break down the question that you asked over on Twitch. So is your assumption that we have a game manager that sort of manages all the meta stuff? Each room is its own thing with its own main GD file that sort of manages the entire interaction in that room. So our rooms are set up in such a way that they are kind of generic. So this, the script attached to this is a generic room script. So all of our rooms have the same room script. Then each one has kind of like its own items inside of those rooms. And then the way that these rooms are placed is we actually have a level... Hold on. Okay, excuse me. Sorry, I had to burp. We have this level scene that we load into, which patches all of our levels together. And then... So, like, the room that I'm in here is the only room that's currently in the scene. So you'll see here... So we have this empty start room. If I move over into this exit, we are now in this room. And so the only room is room 6. So it kind of takes the old room out of the tree, puts it off to the side, and then puts the new one that we're in into the tree. But each room is like its own isolated block of logic. Where like the room doesn't need to know about the level. If I hit F6, I'll just load straight into this level. And it's written in such a way that it shouldn't break. Because you can see that this room it doesn't matter that we're not actually in an overall level. There's no levels loaded. If I hit TP to room, you can see that there's, well, this button's broken. There's just no level there. This is the only room that actually exists, but it still works because it's like completely isolated and doesn't matter where it's at. Will we be translating the game? I don't know. I think probably at some point. That is a little bit further off into the future than we've thought. Especially because a lot of things in the game are probably going to be changing between now and then. So before the meds, one of the things that I noticed that I didn't realize was ADHD was just that sometimes I would go to I would want to work on something. I would have nothing else that I needed to do. I wouldn't feel obligated to do anything, and then I would sit down and I just could not work on it, no matter what I wanted to do. Like, I could want to program this as much as anything else in the world, and then I just would not be able to do it. And then I got a psych appointment for, like, depression and stuff, and then they were like, we should screen you for ADHD, and I was like, sure. And then they were like, yeah, you got a little bit of mental problems. And I was like, okay. And then they prescribed me Adderall, and it was really, really cool because I didn't notice that it worked until it wore off, and I realized I had been coding for 6 hours on something that I hadn't coded on in like months, which was really, really cool. Also, hello, JW. That's the other dev of the game, by the way, in my YouTube chat. He is I guess he's the main dev, but he's like the artist and music guy. Navigation region. You will have ground and exits. This room doesn't matter, and this room doesn't matter. Okay, I think that should be it. Do you find you need to take the meds every day to work on the game? No. I do take the meds most days, though, just because having the consistency to be able to work is really, really nice, and have the ability to, like, actually focus on things. Even outside of game dev, I've noticed that it just improves my productivity a lot. It makes it easier for me to go out to the store because I don't sit there and think about it for 30 minutes beforehand. I'm just like, I need to go to the store. I'm going to go to the store. And then I go to the store and then I come back. Which is really, it's nice. But there are days that if I'm just like, I'm not doing anything, I don't need to take meds, I won't. But for the most part, I do take them every day. I tried to see a psych once, but he was sick and never tried again. I would recommend it. I mean, I don't know you. I don't know how to give... I'm not going to give medical advice or, like, backseat game your life, but it has been really cool. And I had another friend that also went to a psych to figure out her mental issues, and she is happier now, I think. So, even if you don't have issues, it's cool to find out that you don't. What do I do for work? I'm just a programmer. I do back-end web dev for a company. And then streaming game dev is like just a for fun thing. I mean, you can see that my streams aren't monetized. I just do it for fun. So I don't remember. I think this level didn't. This looks like a cat. I don't think it was meant to look like a cat. I'm pretty sure whenever he put this level together, it wasn't supposed to be a cat. It just ended up looking that way. So let me see what I have in my thing really, really quickly. So the spawn animation I think is good. Let me double check, because I think I killed it and removed it. Let me add a bunch of cards. And then clear hand. Okay, yeah. I'm honestly a lot happier with that. The card spawn animation was cool and all, but, like, it was just doing too much, to be honest with you. Sorry for the question. No problem. Are you satisfied with being a programmer? Game dev aside, absolutely. I love programming. It's like my overall passion for like my entire life. Sorry, I need to remove something. Soulmeter.gd. You should not be doing shit. Let's just get rid of this. To do, probably remove all of this code. We're using mana now. Oh, also, random thing that I wanted to bring up that I think is really, really cool. I got a new keyboard, and last stream I was complaining that it was really too loud. And I got silence on my keyboard, and now it's like barely audible, if at all, when I'm typing. Very, very happy with that. Also, would I shift from to full-time game dev from web dev if I could stay myself from it? That's a difficult question. I love game dev. There's a bit of a thing you have to kind of consider with things like that, because once you swap something over to being a main source of income, there's a lot more pressure to do it. So you can end up, one, the quality could go down because you're doing it because you have to, not because you want to. Two, if you do ever have a period where you just don't feel like you can do it, there's not really people that can hold you as accountable. Whereas like with my job, if I start slipping, I have a boss that's like, hey dude, you're not doing enough. Which is like, good to hear, I guess. But with like game dev, you don't really get that. So it's like, I don't know. But it's like, I will say this, if there was a world where I could guarantee that I could sustain myself with game dev and I could be consistent with it, I would. However, I don't know if I could be consistent with it. And I do also like having my dedicated job with like a schedule and coworkers and stuff. Sorry, there was another message that I missed. How was the ADHD test? The ADHD test was terrible. One of the parts of the test, so they sit you in a room with just you and a computer. Let me move my mic. Okay, now that my cat has sat down, I can move my mic back down. One of the parts of the test was they just sit you in a room with nothing but a computer screen and a keyboard. And the test will flash a random letter for about a second. And if that letter happens to be a capital B, you have to hit space. It will do this randomly once every like 2 to 5 seconds, and that test lasts for 5 minutes. You have to sit there for 5 minutes and stare at the screen and press space every now and then. Which was terrible. You totally relate to the motivation not being able to work on something, especially if you have deadlines. Honestly, if I have deadlines, I kind of find myself working more on something because there's like more of a disappointment factor if I don't do it. Also, TikTok. I think I've only met one coworker that uses Vim. Because he installed a plugin in his IDE, and I was like, "Are you using Vim?" And he was like, "I'm surprised you noticed." And I was like, "Yeah, dude, I know what the fuck Vim is." I think he was a contractor, though. I don't think he works there anymore. So I want to say the answer is probably 0 right now. Okay, so that's the navigation stuff. Sorry, I need to go back here. So this is gone. Enemy wave spawning I'll probably do in a minute. I want to fix this guy facing the wrong direction. So I'm going to go into here. Do you have an input component? You do have an input driver. So let's see. What do you have? What do you know about? Previous driver, target info, active. I don't know what you do. I'll be honest. What is the purpose of this? Input driver. Are you used anywhere? Oh, worm input. Yeah. Ooh, that's gross. Maybe not then. Okay, I might need to change some things because this is gross. Let's see. So if player diff player side movement dir player side equals that time plus player. Blah, 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 blah. And you remember this code? It's been a hot minute. Direction.x. We transition to attack. Problem is attack immediately sets direction to 0. I might do something a little gross, I'll be honest. So let's do await get tree dot physics frame. I'm gonna set you to do this. You're gonna do this a single frame later, I think. Which might be just a little gross. So he should face me, and if I run over here, he should turn around. And he didn't. Why? Print. During. Oh. Wait, what? Time pass player is greater than that. Oh. This is probably fine. Do you know about the player in here? Player? Yeah. If player dot global position var diff is gonna be... What the hell? Did he turn around? He turned around at a certain point? What the fuck? At a certain point, he just turned around? Okay, there we go. And then I just need to have this turn the other way. Yeah. There we go. So now he should face the correct direction when he goes to attack. Cool. It's a little funky, but whatever. I kind of fuck with him a little bit. He's cool. Okay, let's see. Sorry, I missed things in chat. Which keyboard did I get? I got a Red Dragon. I got some shitty mechanical keyboard off of Amazon for like $50. I kind of love it though. It's kind of a cheap keyboard, but I love that the switches are hot swappable. So on Monday, I got some new switches in and just swapped all of them out. What other biggish projects have I worked on? Not many. In terms of game dev, I have an issue where I don't complete projects. Oh, cat's moving. Okay, she has sat back down, so we are back. I haven't really done a whole lot of big projects. It's been a lot of small projects and helping other things out, and not a whole lot of sitting down and making something large. So this is probably the largest project that I have. Also, the Not So Bad Cop is in Tennessee currently. He is on a vacation for a week. You miss him? You're the first. Let's see. You switched to NeoVim about a year ago, took a bit. You really appreciate the simplicity. You saw pure Godot and open scripts in NeoVim. I don't know. I really don't. I tried learning Vim. But like, I don't know, something about the GUI editors. I was doing something earlier. I really like like the built-in filtering for GUI editors, because I feel like I know my way around these a lot, and I do a lot of the same thing that NeoVim users do, like with this. Oh, he's gonna be back Thursday. Unfortunate. You know, but I don't know. It's if I have to text edit something that requires a lot of processing, I'll just toss it into, VS Code and then swap back over. Oh, dude, that split keyboard. Hold up, let me open this drink. Oh, and it just spewed. Whatever. I was also thinking about that keyboard. It is really fucking expensive. It's like $450, right? $450 US dollars. It's so expensive. However, I will say I've known 2 or 3 people that use that keyboard and they absolutely love it. This is the keyboard that they are talking about, by the way. This thing. I don't know why there's so many keycaps just tossed all over the floor, but whatever. This keyboard is really cool. Anyone that has this keyboard that I've ever heard about having this keyboard has talked so many positive things about it. It's probably worth it, but it is really expensive. It's $400, yeah. But yeah. Kinesis Advantage 2. That's another one that I've heard. I actually don't know what that one looks like though. Kinesis Advantage 2. Is that the one Primogen has? Or does he have the 360? What is Primogen keyboard? What does he got? Yeah, he's got one of the Kinesis ones, I think. I think it might just be this one. Prime has a few different ones. Yeah. Primogen's cool. Looks like it would drive you insane. It's supposed to help with wrist pain. So, I guess if you got wrist pain, or if you want to prevent wrist pain. So that fixes that issue. That kind of sucks. I've got 2 more things on my list that I had planned for. So the first one is minimap node JW. If you're still here, did you end up pushing up the icons for the rooms yet, or no? If not, I can just go grab something from one of the Kenny packs that I have. Give me a sec. I'm grabbing this from... Are you the one that I want? You're not. You actually are. Just, like, almost. You haven't made them. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, we'll use this. I'll just toss this one in here for placeholder stuff. I think it's under sprites. Kenny. No? Okay, whatever. Oh no, Kenny placeholder. Cool. I spelled Kenny wrong. Oops, whatever. Did I use tweens for the card drawing animations? We use tweens all over the fucking place. Like, literally all over the place. Like... we use tweens so much. It is actually insane. I love tweens so much. Let's see. Your words per minute went to like 12. Took about 2 weeks. You're way faster than you was before. That's dope. Oh, okay. So he does have the 360, not the Kinesis too. I see. I shmee. So let's add... What did I change here? Oh, yeah. I like this one a lot because the, there's a selection caret now. So whenever you're in the room, it does this little animation thing. I need you dead. It does this little animation thing. But also... the border is a dedicated thing. So that means that I could put some sort of icon on top of it. Sprite 2D. Well, actually, no. Yes, actually. I don't know why I'm saying no. Room icon. How do I want to do this? Because I know, let's see, I know that I have an enum inside of room base. Right, I do. A room type. Let's pull that in. Const room type is room base component dot room type. And then I also wanted to have... I hate that my mind immediately went to tool scripts because that is a terrible idea. I'll just do at export var. What are my types? Enemy, shop, boss, none. Hold on. Is there a way that I can do this that... Give me a sec. I need to think about this. Because I could put this in the room. Okay, sorry. My cat was moving around. Okay, so I could do something like this where I have like a shop texture. I'll probably just do this for now, to be honest, and then I'll come back to this later. In the documentary, they're going to say he definitely did not come back to this later. The sound effects for the game, he's doing the sound effects for the game. For now. I don't know if we're going to have a dedicated person doing the sound effects or not, but he's getting it done, so... Boss texture is texture 2D. And export var. Enemy texture is a texture 2D. So... Is this an Atlas texture? This isn't. That's okay. I can make Atlas textures. What are you called? Monochrome. Monochrome. Do all of you share this? You do. Okay, now I can make you unique. And then I can edit the region and select specifically the sprite that I want. So this is for the regular enemy texture, which I guess we'll just use this. The fuck-ass skull. And then for the boss, we will use this fuck-ass skull. And then for this... Oh, I didn't make that unique. Make unique. And make unique. And then I will use... What? Oh, for the shop texture, I will use a bag. I'm sure that there's a bag on here somewhere. Right there. Right next to the fuck-ass skull. And then I will... func get or set icon texture. At which point I will say var texture. Well, this is a sprite, so texture is an already defined thing. We'll just say icon, which is going to be a texture 2D. We will match based on the room dot type. If we are a room type of enemy, or of boss, or of shop. And then I will export this sprite so that you actually do something. Var icon sprite. Shop texture is not defined. Are you sure? You're so right. I didn't call it texture. I misspelled it. I don't know why I'm trying to return that. I can do room or type sprite icon sprite dot texture is equal to icon. Okay. All right, let me catch up on this. Why did you think resources couldn't have functions? That saves a lot of headache. Resources having functions is like the most amazing thing ever. We do that in a lot of our card stuff. Card res.gd. Like we have, I mean, this is a specific thing for editor properties, but we have like checking tags, getting the color, various things. Let's see. You need advice on learning new things in Godot. You're still a noob in game dev and just watching tutorials sometimes make you vomit due to bad implementation issues. Is it relatable? A lot of tutorials do just do like the we need to get this to work kind of thing. Excuse me. What I would recommend is don't watch a full multi-part tutorial. Kind of just look for tutorials for specific parts and then come up with your own solutions if you're able to. And then if that solution doesn't work, try to figure out why. Can you get the attached thing if it has a resource attached to it? Is that maybe not a good thing? Consider a health component, like a resource health component. Would it make sense for that resource to have a function like take damage? So you cannot get what the resource is attached to because the resource doesn't have to be attached to something, because these resources are saved to disk sometimes. So this could just be something that's sitting on disk that is just like here. If you wanted to do something like a health component, I would pass in a reference of the node. So like, for example, if I wanted this card to know what it was attached to, I would have like a var target node that you could pass in as a reference there. And then do things with this inside of the resource. Yeah, that as well. I think that's a fine pattern. One thing to look out for is that resources by default are shared. So, like, for example, if I load this card hammer into one part of my game, make some modifications to it, and then load card hammer into somewhere else in the game, both of them will be pointing to the same card hammer, and any modifications made from one will affect the other. Unless you do .duplicate. So do just keep that in mind. Yeah. Yep. If you have a resource A with a large property B and a property C. Hold on, I need to read this again. So let's say we have resource A. We're going to start there. So you have resource A. So here's a box. Pirate software time. All right, so resource A with a large array property B. Okay, so I'm assuming you mean like, let's say this has a list of properties. One of these is B, which is an array, which we'll define as like this. Let's say there's like 3,000 items in here. And then you have property C, which is like a number that's just like 15 or something. If you wanted to just grab A.C, is that expensive? No. That will not be slow. Unless the language is made in a bad way. Because whenever you reference a variable, what you're actually doing is you are referencing the memory location that it is stored at. So rather than saying, I want to go, like, instead of saying, start from this object, jump down, or look for this thing, you're saying, I know exactly where I need this to be. Just read the memory in this location. So it shouldn't matter what else is in the object. Fuck, sorry. I'm making a lot of noise today. My setup is all over the place. General good game programming practices. There is a website and book I would recommend reading. It is called Game Programming Patterns. Flashbang warning, this is a bright site. They use light mode. So this is gameprogrammingpatterns.com. there's a book you can buy from Amazon, or if you scroll down to here, there's a button, read now. Click this. Here's the entire book all the way. These are command pattern, the whole thing. You can see any of the other patterns. These are like just patterns all over the place. You can read a bunch of really cool stuff. I would also recommend, if you wanted to learn good programming patterns, look at open source games or try to mod other games, because you will learn how they've done things and you will kind of gain an idea of how your favorite games have approached things. Stardew Valley, funny that this song just came on, is actually also a really good one. I would look at the modding API of Stardew Valley, or look at like the decompiled source code of Stardew Valley to figure out good patterns. My favorite flavor of ice cream as a second scoop? Fuck, that's difficult. Because the first scoop of ice cream, 100%, 100% is mint chocolate chip. Second scoop, what would be a good scoop for that? I mean, obviously a second scoop of mint chocolate chip would go crazy. What would be really good with that? Like a cotton candy, maybe? Mint chocolate chip followed up by a cotton candy palate cleanser goes kind of crazy. Maybe I might be smoking crack on that one, but that sounds really good. Also, hello Toaster, how's it going? And I've done some game jams, yeah. There's a couple I'm not super proud of, but it's just Bitlytic on itch.io. I'm sure you can find whatever I've worked on there. Some of them are gross and ugly and not good games, and I wouldn't recommend checking them out, but they're all open source though, I think. Excuse me. Let's see. Sorry, we're back here. What are we doing? Shop texture isn't defined. Set icon texture. I need you. So when do I want to set this? I want to set this. Let me take a look at this. I forget how this game works. It's been a minute. We can see all of these. Oh, I see. I thought that I wanted to make it reveal the room and... Oh no, I just wanted to reveal what the type of room would be. So I think I could probably just say this on ready. Visible is false. Set icon texture. What are the chances you're just going to work? The answer is not at all, because I forgot to assign this variable in the inspector. Cool. Okay, those are a lot larger than I thought they would be. But if I go in here... Cool. Okay, I can see all of those. Let me lower the size of this icon really quickly. To like half. I think that's probably fine for now. And then I think this should be hidden once the room is completed so that you don't actually see what's in there anymore. Potentially. If room.ended. Or no, sorry, on room ended connections. Okay, yeah, I can do icon sprite dot hide. So once I go in here, I'll fight this room and then it will hide the icon afterwards. Cool. Okay, there's no icon there anymore. I could probably make it like dim, honestly, so that you know that the room is finished. What would be a good idea for that? Because I want to be able to see that this is a finished room. Probably just making it dim. Oh shit, you didn't save the changes. Also, I don't like that nobody else said anything about the mint chocolate chip ice cream mention, except for one person in chat, which makes me think that everyone else here doesn't like mint chocolate chip ice cream, which is like kind of a sin, I think. Because mint chocolate chip ice cream is so fucking good. Let's set this modulate. We'll say color.gray. That's weird that they spelled gray that way, but whatever. I should also make debug menu.tscn. I want to make this. Where are you? From CardDB, this thing. I need to give you a fuck ton of damage because I want to have you instantly clear the room. Oh, you aren't dropping through platforms anymore. Weird. Oh yeah, cool. There we go. And then we can see the shop is over there, which is really, really cool. So you can actually see what each room is before you go into it. And then here's the dude. There's the man himself. Ew, where's the sauce? There's no sauce on that. There was supposed to be sauce on that. Holy. Maybe I should adjust the sauce on that a little bit while we're here. What's my balance on web dev, game dev? Well, web dev is my game job, or my game job. My web dev is my day job, so it is by far the one that I work on the most because it's a 9 to 5. Outside of work, it is all game dev. Outside of work, I do not touch web dev because that is like gross and heinous. Except for like once a year, I will build a website. Here's the current website. That's it. Every now and then we make a website. But outside of that, I do not touch web dev. Dark chocolate or mango ice? Dark chocolate I can fuck with. I don't know how I feel about mango ice. That one was built in Svelte. That was my first time using Svelte, and it was okay. It was kind of cool. I do like Angular the most for like a full-on website, but for something small like that, Svelte definitely did it for me. I do not get burnt out from that because so web dev is my job. That pays the bills. Game dev is like my passion, and that pays the soul. You know, I don't do game dev to get paid. I do game dev because it's fun. So that doesn't burn me out because this is something that I want to do. Let's see. A thing you've never understood is making safe code. Like, if self.hitSound plays sound when it's always expected for there to be hit sound, doesn't it just make debugging harder? It depends. So sometimes there isn't going to be... Let me think about this. There are times, like for here, this is something that I was adding in as like an afterthought. Like, this is something that didn't exist before. So I'm adding kind of a guard that says, you know, if this doesn't exist, give me an error so I can come back and fix this. There are also places like this where we do like a check for this. The reason for that is because we don't guarantee that this is going to be here. If it is a spot where it is guaranteed to be there, then I think that you should have that error out. You can also do asserts. Excuse me. So you can do an assert here, and I believe what this will do, as far as I remember, I think I can actually see this if I were to restart the game. and then TP into the shop room. So you can use asserts, which will pop in a debug breakpoint while you're in the editor. But I don't know. It's sometimes it does make sense to do an if check beforehand because you can't guarantee it's going to be there, and you want to gracefully fail when it isn't there. But if it's a spot where you think it should be there, then you should probably use an assert or some sort of erroring logic like this. Also, yeah, you're so right. Over on Twitch, web dev is definitely real business logic, because it's like, meh, I need to transfer this from a payment processor to our database, and I need to get this from the database, and I need to transfer this to the customer, and I need to and that's like, it's a lot of boring business logic that isn't particularly difficult. It's just kind of finding the right person to ask about what table you need to look up in. But in game dev, it's a lot of like really cool stuff. It's like, I have some, like, I did like this shader. You know, this shader was all like out of my brain. I had to sit there and like think about everything and do like a crazy amount of stuff. This was like genuinely tough programming to think about. Whereas with web dev, it's not usually genuinely tough. It's usually just genuinely you have to find the right person. So it's definitely like two different thought schools. Do I ever add tests to games? I haven't. We probably will have a testing suite at some point in Dante's 9. We are currently at a point where we don't know what the expected behavior is going to be, so we don't have any testing suites, but I think that we probably will have some sort of testing suite similar to what Minecraft uses. If you don't know Minecraft's testing suite, they have like, they'll load into a world and it will spawn like 100 predefined block tests, and it will check for certain states, and if those aren't true, it will like flag it as a failed test. It'll probably be something like that. Yeah, web dev also doesn't have like life cycle stuff as much. It's usually like interaction points rather than like an overall loop. You also don't have to care about performance as much because the code that you're writing isn't being run every single frame. It's like someone's going to press a button. You just have to grab something from the database within 5 seconds. That's not a big deal, you know? Whereas with game dev, it's like, this person pressed a button, you have to build the level and put them in it within a second, or they're going to refund your game because it's not running well enough. I would recommend learning shaders by, I mean, you're probably going to hate my answer because I've said this to like 8 people today. Just play around with them. Take shaders off of the internet that you can read, play around with them, or watch a video on someone creating VFX or a shader intros to understand how like UV and like vertex mapping works, and then kind of just go into someone else's shader and fuck around with it until you figure out what it's doing. Which is, I know, the least helpful answer of all time because it's not concrete in the slightest, but that is kind of unfortunately the answer. I think these icons are good. I think they're fine. Which means that I have to do wave spawning now, which is potentially annoying. JW, are you here? You gotta jump. Apparently Jira tickets don't answer themselves. You joined the Discord. Yeah, for sure. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. Good luck on your Jira tickets. I hope that they get merged or moved to merge status soon, or to whatever you have. JW, if you're here, how did we want enemy waves to work? Did we want them to be procedurally generated, or did you want them to be similar to how, what did I just open up? Or did you want it to be like how you have enemy spawners defined here? Like you have an enemy here and an enemy here, but you want multiple waves of those. I hope he's here. I really do. But I don't think he is. Which is a little unfortunate. I kind of wrote that down without thinking about how I wanted the waves to work either. So what did I have last time? Enemy room display. That experiment with room triggers. Enemy count could be reworked. Let me take a look at some of my to-do notes and see if there's something that I can... Ooh, I'm dizzy. Hold on. Okay. All right, we're good. I think that's dizziness from me looking over to chat and back way too much. Wait. This might go crazy. I just moved, I moved my OBS over to this monitor. This one. Because my chat is, like, on the right side of the window. And so now I've got, like, my monitor set up so I can see chat a little bit closer. We'll see if that makes me a little less dizzy. Let me take a look at my to-dos and see if there's something that we can do in here. So replace this with the new ability stuff. We are doing not that today. That's a lot. This should be handled by a component that's being replaced and phased out. Enemy spawner. Potentially consider using some event in level manager rather than directly referencing room. That's probably a good idea. Let me think about enemy spawning really quickly. So in room base, I have register spawner, spawners.append spawner, register enemy, that. I think that is fine. What I've got planned in my mind. So register spawner is a thing so that whenever a certain event goes off, I can do this, where I will do, I will spawn each of them, which will create the enemy. How is register enemy being called? Or spawn enemy? Spawn enemy? Enemy? Register enemy. Where are you being called? Enemy spawn is here. I think I can do this. Register enemy. Enemy is... It's not guaranteed to be the new enemy base class. However, let me think about this for a second. So, sorry, I'm gonna work through what I'm thinking of right now. So, I want to transition this register enemy call. Rather than making a direct call to the room, I want to create an event inside of the level manager, which is going to have a function or a signal called like enemy spawned, which will be an enemy of type node. This will then be emit and listened to by the room. The reason for this is because enemies can be spawned later, specifically in the case of the fire goober hive. So this guy is a guy that sits in the level and he kind of shoots out eggs, which count as enemies, and the eggs will spawn enemies if they are able to hatch, which also count as enemies. So how do I want to handle this? Because I would have to... Let me see. So the egg spawner, we're doing, I believe, spawn object. We are calling the level manager spawn object. I could... So we're swapping everything over. This is so annoying. So we are swapping everything over to use this new enemy base class. So I could say if node is enemy base, level manager dot enemy spawned dot emit node. So that could work. Currently, this will only work for the enemies that have been moved to the new system. However, in here, I could do level manager dot enemy spawned dot emit with the new enemy that we're passing in. So the one problem that we have with this is this would double spawn the enemies, or this would double signal, which means inside of room base, room base.gd, this function, which is going to be taking in the enemy, would have to also check whether or not that enemy is registered in the list of enemies that it cares about. How would I do that? Well, I know how I would do that. It's not like the biggest deal. I think I would just have a current enemies. Oh, well, we already have that array, don't we? It's just not being used. Cool. Okay. So if current enemies dot has enemy, we will return. Otherwise, we will say current enemies dot append enemy. Then I will also listen for the tree exiting signal, which will on enemy died dot find enemy. I think, well, no, that's not going to be correct, is it? Level manager current enemy count minus equals 1. You will not be a thing anymore, correct? On room ended. That. You're not really referenced in a place that makes sense. I think this is fine. I think I can do this. Kill this. Kill this. And kill this. Then in here, get rid of the removal and just do current enemies dot is empty. Okay, and then we run the game and find out if that breaks. All right, let me read. Yeah, Simon Dev also has good videos about shaders. Is the playlist public? It is not currently. I might have. Is it unlisted? Hold on, give me a second. Let me go to my YouTube studio and find out. Content. Playlists. Stream music. You're unlisted. Let me actually make this public. I need to put the rest of the songs in here. This has 35 of the songs in the playlist, of which the playlist has, I don't know, 100 songs. So it's like a third of the songs. Let's see. So hello, Johnny. How's it going? Hi, friend. Enjoy your ride on the Godot engine, or on the engine. You weren't expecting a Go stream at the moment. Well, I'm happy you're here. You wish flat earthers were right, and thus no time zones would exist. 2 a.m. for you. Go to sleep. What do you mean flat earthers aren't right? The earth is obviously flat. No, good night, though. Good luck. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out. Sleep well. Let me see. Let me make sure that I can finish these rooms now. Existing perpetually. I'm also existing perpetually. But hopefully... Is that all the enemies? There's no more enemies. Shit, it didn't work. Someone's upset somewhere, right? No. What? Current enemies. Spawn enemy. Oh, that's just not running? Oh, wait. Yeah, because I never registered the enemies. I see. I understand. I never said ready level manager dot enemy spawned dot connect. Oh shit! Wait, hold on. Hold on. You're wrong. Do we have a tree exiting function in here? We don't. Do we have a tree entering function? We don't. Okay. Oh, enter tree. This is the one. Do we have exit tree? We don't. Func exit tree. So I will check if level manager dot enemy spawned dot is connected to on enemy or enemy register enemy. I think it's the name of the function. So if that, then we will disconnect it. Did I connect? Yeah, you're so true. Otherwise, I guess nothing. And then in here we will say if not connected, then connect to register enemy with a lowercase e, preferably. So that way, we aren't registering enemies that no longer exist, or that don't exist in the current level, because it needs to know about only the enemies that are in the current level. Oh, that's a problem. Because I know there's more enemies here. So I know the issue. I know exactly what the problem is, which is that the spawners are not being counted yet, because the spawners haven't spawned their enemy yet. Okay, this is maybe a little gross, but I could also do spawners node.spawn await node.spawned. Where's register spawner at? Where are you at? I'll just control F for it. Register spawner. And then I also do spawners.append. That's fine. I will say current enemies because I think it should technically count. Spawner. And then we will say spawner dot spawn dot. This feels wrong, but it's probably right. Well, who knows? We'll find out in a second. Spawn enemies await node dot spawn to current enemies dot remove or dot erase spawner. I guess it's called node here. Oh. Where am I? Ah. Okay. Cool. Oopsies. Let's not do that. Whatever I just did. I know what I just did. I'm doing a bunch of changes to the exit stuff right now, and I kind of broke things. Okay, I need to kill this before all the enemies spawn. Ah, I didn't get it in time. Let me see. There should be a room that only has like one enemy, and I think it's room 7. It is not. It's room 8. It is room 8. I believe it has 2 enemies, but I can grab this And kill that guy before that guy spawns. Yeah, so we waited. Cool. I'll also add, actually, for testing purposes, I need to make sure this works. Dot spawned. I'll also just wait for an extra second after it's done spawning. Yeah, there we go. So the room didn't actually finish until the enemy was actually spawned and is gonna kill. Yay! Okay, so what else can I do now? Because that was kind of one of the only things that I was thinking. Oh, actually, I should make sure if I spawn in Fire Goober Hive, you're gonna do some shit, aren't you? You're gonna spawn some eggs. And I want this guy to count. So now... Oh, well, I guess the room's already finished, isn't it? I guess let me do this in a room that has enemies still in it. Ah, shit, I did the thing again. That room is broken for now. A little bit. First time chatter, you're here to watch someone do something you like more than me. Just wanted to tell you thanks for your video and causing. No problem. I'm glad that it helped you. It's a way more useful video than I thought people would find it. But I guess that's how it goes. So I want to make sure that if I kill these two, that guy doesn't count as... Why did two of them spawn? Yeah, so the room shouldn't end until all of the enemies are killed, which includes these guys. Yay! Cool. And apparently I also made it so that if I spawn in another enemy and then kill them, it doesn't reclose the doors, which I didn't know that... I didn't know I fixed that, but that's actually really cool, because I didn't expect that. Huh. Okay, I'm kind of happy that that happened. Is there an egg spawn limit? There is. I don't remember what JW did with it. I guess we can find out. Spawn Fire Goober Hive. Oh, I know what the... Okay, I know exactly what happened whenever multiple of them spawned. So I walked into the room and triggered the spawn, then spawned him in, so it instantly spawned him. But because it goes down the list of spawners and waits a second in between them, it spawned the first enemy, then the second enemy, and then it got to him, which he was now in the list. So I thought there was a limit to these enemies. There is, isn't there? Yeah. So there's 5 of these guys that can be out at a time, as you can see. So there's 5 of these guys out, and they will try to chase the player down and kill them. And then once one of them dies, this guy will spawn another egg. Not immediately, but almost immediately. There's like something else I want them to do. They're like very infinite farm. I mean, there's nothing you can farm in here. Oh, actually, you know what? That is something we should keep in mind, is that these guys shouldn't be able to drop items. It is really satisfying killing just a bunch of them all at once, though. I think he was playing around with it where just spawned like an absolute fuck ton of them. They honestly might be a little too easy to dodge, to be honest with you. Because I'm not really in any danger by just like doing a figure 8 around the room, it looks like. Oh yeah, that's a funny message to see in chat as I just said that. Yeah. I think we might want to make these guys a little bit something else. I mean, the main reason these guys kind of exist is just that they put pressure on the player. So, for example, we also will have these guys and these guys. And I don't know if it's going to be particularly difficult if there's a bunch of dudes. But I don't think that it's going to be particularly that difficult to just like figure 8 around these. Yeah, it's like not really it's not really that hard to avoid them at all. So I don't know. We might have to look into some kind of way of increasing the difficulty, because this does definitely seem way too easy to just avoid them. Let's see. It would be nice to see them to be able to strafe as a quick dodge. Hurt boxes. So one of the things that we want to avoid kind of is just like hurt boxes when you run into enemies. So we want them to have an active hitbox rather than a passive one. Like if you think of Terraria, whenever you run into like a zombie, it just kind of hurts you by standing there. I really don't like that, and neither does JW. But I think we will need to do something about this, because they definitely seem way too weak right now. So I'm running around these guys and I'm thinking about what we could do to change this. Because like, let's say that I wanted to like, let's say I had a bunch of like melee cards rather than range cards. How hard would it be to just like kill them? I guess we only have one melee card. Yeah, see, it's like not even that difficult. Sometimes I take damage if I'm like stupid, but like ideally it should be a little bit more difficult than that. So we might have to do a difficulty pass. Yeah, I mean, Terraria is cool. I love Terraria. I don't really like passive hitboxes. I think they're kind of like a not terrible idea. It's just that they are very, very annoying at times. What are the keywords? For Godot, to understand the engine better. You've heard state machines, why sorting animated sprites. I don't know about keywords. There's not really like a keyword that you could be like, what could I do to make my code better? It's kind of just like you want to program something, and so you like look up a specific thing. Which I don't know. It's kind of just that, I guess. Let's see. As a gameplay suggestion, since it seems like offensive cards are very powerful, it would be nice to encourage the player to play offensively by making swarms less passive in big groups. Ooh, okay. I see what you're saying. So, like, if there was a big group of enemies, they would try to attack the player more often. So the only thing with that is... Let me think about that for a moment. I think probably the issue... No, I know the issue. I know the issue entirely. We don't have any high potency enemies. So... Like, I know I'm pulling out the pirate software again. So for the flying guy that like dodges at you, so he has a charge up time and then he bursts. So his potency is like medium low. because it's not super often. He's not constantly dashing at the player. So like, let's say we had an enemy that would like dash at the player and then would jump up and then dash at the player and then would jump up and dash at the player. That would be like a high potency, high burst enemy versus like the complete opposite, which is we have like those little flying guys that look kind of like an Among Us a little bit with like wings. And they just kind of shoot like one bullet, one bullet, one bullet. That's like a low potency, low burst. So they're kind of just like a constant threat, but not like a very big constant threat. I think we need more enemies that are a little bit closer to the enemy that dashes to you, hits, jumps away, dashes at you, hits, jumps away. Obviously not to that extent, because that's going to be fucking terrible. But we need more of like a constant threat that applies pressure to the player. Because we don't have that. The closest that we have right now is definitely that flying guy. Where's he at? I guess I'll just... There's an egg. Look at him go. Why did that get blocked? Why did that not show up in my chat? Oh, there we go. Like, for example, you can see that he's like... He has an attack, but it's like very slow. Like, he doesn't have like a whole lot of potency. Let's see. You know those exploding guys in Halo? That, but they can explode multiple times, getting smaller like a Russian doll. Yeah. Or like, I'm writing this down. Sorry, I'm writing this down. I know what the problem is. So we want... So, let me toss this into like a separate notes section. Enemy issues. Currently, enemies are not very potent. Threats are not often and aren't difficult enough, or aren't present enough, we'll say. We need more enemies that put out threats more often and for longer periods. Let's see, Nacido said you should have an enemy that is big and moves slowly and explodes into 3 of that flying guy later. Maybe I'm trying to think. It's a little hard to do for a platformer like this, to have an enemy that kind of follows you around. Like in Gungeon, one of the enemies is like, he's like a little blob guy that like, as you move in a direction, he will like chase after you, and like he will try to get as close to you as possible. And if you like, you know, as you're like going up, he will like try to stick to you as much as possible. So you kind of have to deal with him sooner rather than later. It would be cool to have an enemy like that kind of puts an ever-present threat on you. We could also have teleporting enemies. We could have an enemy that tries to keep its distance. So like the flying guy. I think this guy needs to be changed as well. I don't like the way he's coded currently, because you can see that he's like, bah, 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 bah. You know, he's a consistent whatever. I think it should be like, maybe he shoots out like a pa 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 pa, and he like shoots out like a kind of array of bullets towards you. And then he kind of like moves. Like maybe, well, actually, I think we will do a rework with that guy, because I was thinking that he was an enemy. He would like sit here and then he would shoot like pa 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 pa, and he would shoot like a spread of bullets towards you, and then he would like dash quickly to another spot, rest for a moment. You would see him charge up, and then he would shoot like a ta 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 towards you again. A lot of these can also be fixed with more enemies on screen. Definitely not. As I showed earlier. Hold up. Make flying guy that shoots first, then dashes to a different spot. Teleporting enemy that Russian doll could teleport randomly. If it was an enemy that would try to get close to the player and explode, I I think an enemy that tries to get close to the player should not be a teleporting enemy. I think it should be an enemy that tries to chase you. And I think that's probably going to be more doable once I do that pathfinding thing that's the person had sent in chat earlier. I think I'll definitely take a look at their pathfinding and see if I can make a cooler enemy. Because I think if I'm able to make an enemy that whenever I jump on this and go up here, that enemy is also able to get up to me, I think that would be great. Or if there was an enemy that was able to teleport and get close to the player, I don't think it should be in a way that is like, it shouldn't be, there's an enemy sitting here, they phase out of existence and then they teleport up to here. If they're an enemy that's trying to get close to the player, I think the more thematic, or at least gameplay option, is to have the enemy be down here, and then he decides he wants to get up to the player. So he burrows into the ground and kind of disappears and pops out of the ground later and then lands up here, rather than just like a phase out, phase in. Or more reasonable jump pads in the ground. Yeah. What about ladders? Could do ladders. Oh, he changed them. Yeah. That's in your head. I see. That could be kind of cool. I don't... Oh, no. Oh, you're pissing me off now. Not actually pissing me off, by the way. Because now I'm thinking, like... Now all I can think about is how cool Minato is, and I'm just like, fuck, dude, what if we had a kunai that you could throw that whenever it hits the wall, you teleport to it or something? Or like an enemy that throws out a bullet, and if it ends up hitting the wall, he teleports to it or something. But yeah, also, Nasitos, so I was doing a test earlier with a bunch of enemies. They are really bad right now. So I'm just gonna spawn like a bunch of dudes in. It's gonna be loud. I'm sorry. So there's a bunch of enemies. They're not a threat, as you'll see, like at all. Okay, those guys are, because I did something stupid. But like, you know, I can just kind of like figure eight around, and they don't really pose that much of a threat. These guys need to do a little bit more. I think there's just no constant potent threat. So let's see. Teleport kunai could be used with one of the fusion cards. Yeah. You figured they would be as implemented now. Yeah, they're definitely not a big threat. What he meant more is that some of the enemies would be more of a threat. Yes. As there are one or two more enemies that are a threat. Yeah. I think that's the idea, is that we have like, these guys can be kind of like fodder, and then we will have something like a teleporting enemy, or like a, you know, in Gungeon, there's the big guy that swings his sword and then it like shoots a bunch of bullets across the room, like things like that. Where like on its own, you could obviously dodge everything that it does. But in a room full of all of these guys, probably not. Oh, I'm out of mana. Oh, I'm out of mana. Quickly, give me mana. Give me mana. Oops, I ran into the bullet. That's not my fault. Okay. All right, let me read things. So, hello, you happen to get here because of autoplay. Would it be too much to make the charging ones leave behind a damaging line that stays permanently until it charges again, at which point... Ooh, okay, hold on. Okay, you've got some ideas. Okay, so you're saying with the charging enemy. So, I'm going to make like a slight change to what you suggested. So let's say this is the charging enemy, and he charges in this direction. He ends up over here. There's like a line of damage as he charges, and then afterwards there's kind of like maybe a cloud of like damage or something that if you jump into, you take damage. Or it... That might be an idea. That could be a cool idea. It could be an issue, but that's definitely an idea. I kind of like that idea built off of it a little bit more. Yeah. Let's see. Do you have any recommendations for creating modular code? You're currently working on a twin-stick shooter, but you're struggling to make it modular and maintainable. You can get something to work, but you want it to last. Any suggestions? No. Except for build what you need, and when you run into issues, consider what could be changed, how much of an issue it's going to be to change, and then potentially rebuild a system. It's gonna suck to say rebuild the system, but I think if you don't know off the top of your head how to make code modular, sometimes it's better to just build the non-modular version and come back to it later whenever you need it to be modular. Let's see. You still think they should be controlled by a conductor object to make an attack in sequence so you get a constant attack by those? Ooh. Okay. I see. So, like, I see what you mean. So, like, maybe not specific to these guys. Like a dude who's just like, wah, and then he points at, like, me, and then all of his minions are like, yes, sir, and then they all kind of charge in the direction of the player, rather than just kind of attacking on their own. It's kind of cool. Let's see. The thing about roguelikes is that the gameplay is separated in actually playing and making builds. If a good build is not required, you're not punished for taking too long to clear a room, the game loses a lot of fun and originality. If builds easily carry you through skill issues, you're just playing a strategy game. Yeah, that is another thing that we really want to work on, is making sure that the builds feel fun to use, rather than just being, you get cards, you use them. Let me see. That's kind of something we haven't talked about much. But it is definitely something that we do care about. We don't just want simple stat upgrades, and we don't just want simple side grade cards. We do want more interesting build ideas. Frankly, you didn't know you were worried. Yeah, so we're not far enough to worry about builds. It is something we are thinking about. It is not something we are currently implementing. Threat levels is definitely something that I'm interested in talking about, because, like, Nastitos, I don't know if I showed you, or I don't know if you were around for it. We actually have a list of things that we want for the first floor. So I guess I'll start checking these off. So we have animated rooms, randomly placed. We have the shop. The forge is included in that. We have the boss. We don't have a loot room. We have enemies. We don't have the waves yet. We don't have room completions. We have the new mana system. Minus this. The charges isn't true. This works, and this works. So in terms of the first floor, we are currently at the point where I don't know if we're going to do this. I'll be honest. We have the room completion rewards, some enemy changes, and loot rooms. I guess the boss, sorry. Actually, the boss isn't actually implemented, but the boss room is a thing, which you can see if I were to reveal all of the rooms. Well, oh no, sorry, hold on. Control P boss.tscn. I'm so happy that Boy Kisser shows up whenever I search boss. Is it not called boss room? Boss room? Room boss? Where the hell is this? Boss worm? Is it called worm room? It's called worm room. Yeah, you need to be set to that. So what is, sorry, what is this room exactly? Is this the start room? Yeah, it is. Okay, cool. I did hit F5 to run the game, by the way. Okay, there we go. So if I TP to room boss and then leave this, you can see the boss room has its own special little icon. It's just not very cool. But yeah. What program do we use for keeping tracks of things to do? So we use Obsidian. It is a free program. All of the files, so if I show in System Explorer, you'll be able to see that all of these files are actually stored on disk, which makes it really easy to sync with your teammates if you're working on a game together, because this is our game project. This is like our Godot folder right here. As you can see, I'll open a file manager. It's the same thing. So we actually have our Obsidian docs under docs, and then we have all of these. So anytime we commit things in Git, it will sync between the two of us. So for example, you can see that these are the changes and stuff. Obsidian's really, really nice. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I think I can do tonight, because I might actually end stream a little bit early, I'll be honest. I had some other stuff that I wanted to do that I can't show on stream because it is a private project that I'm working on, and it's currently on my mind. Let me see. Is there anything? Oh, I wanted to keep going through my to-dos, actually. Let me do that. Pound to-do. We also use this where we just put to-dos in code. Some of it in level manager rather than this is okay. That's fine for now. Pull this from enemy and WAP. Yep. This class is doing too much. We'll do that eventually. Yep. We'll do that eventually. To stop this, remove all this code. Allow modifiers to this. Temporary for playtesting. Separate out. Okay. Debounce timing. Taken directly from Godot source code. Yep. Nice tree copy over position is shape size. Nope. Revisit and optimize. Rename. POI rooms. Change song. Continue cleaning this up. Eventually, I will. Eventually. Surely. I will make an attempt at this, I think. What exactly is JW doing here? Add orbit around player. Aim. If player. Okay, I know what it's doing. How does this thing move exactly? Oh, actually, I'm gonna ask a preference for people in chat. Do you guys prefer if statements that look like this, where you have like if and then the word not and then attacked, or do you prefer if statements that look like this, where you have the exclamation mark? Follow-up question. Let's say you had another condition you wanted to check. Do you also prefer using the and, or do you prefer using the word and? So do you prefer it to look like that, or like that? You prefer not an and. Fair enough. Prefer using words. Fair enough. You can tell exactly which code is written by me and which code is written by JW. Weird enough you prefer words. Interesting. Yeah, no, you can actually, so you can tell which code is written by me and JW, not even just like the quality of the code or whatever, because he writes not attacked and he also writes and, like here. But if you search for and, you can see like this is code that I wrote. This is code that I wrote because it uses and it uses not in like the, like this is all code that I wrote. I can tell because it uses this, which is really funny to me. But yeah, no, I'm very much strongly in the camp of using exclamation mark and the like the double ampersand for and the double pipe for or. But it's really interesting to hear because apparently from what I'm seeing, it's about 50-50 in chat from what I'm reading, I think. Wait. Can you do a not equals in Godot with the word. Like if you, so for the people in chat that prefer using not. So let's say, well, this is kind of funny. Let's say that you wanted to see that this was not the same. Is there a way to do that with the word not? Can you do like not equals equals? Because that seems weird. Because you would have to, if you wanted to do that, then you would have to wrap it like so and then do a not, like a negation on it. I mean, obviously here you could just do fucking false. I mean, here you could just do like, you know, first anim, but sorry, what was I doing? Oh yeah, I wanted to see if I could get the flying enemy to rotate around the player. So what exactly is he doing here? So we do aim, elif not attacked. So does this mean if I attack one of them while they're in their charging state, it will come on, you can launch. I believe in you. If I attack one of them when they're in the charging state, does it cancel it? Spawn. Not the hive. Sorry. Just the dude. Hello, egg. That was a weird egg movement. Okay, so I think if I hit him, he stopped charging. Interesting. I didn't know that. I was not able to tell that. Do I have a... Oh, okay. I wanted to make sure that wasn't anything important. And it is important, just not urgent. Aim delta. So how are we moving this guy? Can I just... Movement component dot body dot velocity dot is 0 approx. Movement component is flying movement component velocity. How are you? Are you setting the velocity anywhere? Body velocity equals right dot rotated. Desired velocity equals 0. Okay. Let's see. So what I would like to do, let me speak this out really quickly to myself mainly, so I can figure out how I want to code this. So when that flying enemy is in the state where he's just kind of looking at the player, he's sitting here, he's looking at the player, I want him to have a chance to slightly drift in either direction of the player. So either clockwise or counterclockwise. Which means that I will need to create a line between him and the player, which I guess would actually be this line. Normalize it, rotate it either 90 degrees or minus 90 degrees, and then use that as my velocity. I think that makes sense. So let's say var diff is player.player. Well, let's do this instead. If not, we'll return early, so you don't have to worry about any of the stuff down here. So we will do var diff is correction to player is enemy dot global position. You're, oh no, sorry JW, you did something maybe potentially bad, but that's fine. These should be global positions. In fact, I'm gonna find out if there's anywhere using position, because this needs to be fixed. Okay, it's just these two places. That's fine. Very, very common mistake. Player dot global position. So this will be the difference to player. I can then normalize that. then let's just start by rotating it 90 degrees always, which would be, I believe in Godot, if the enemy was here, player was here, and it was pointing this direction, 90 degrees, I believe, is clockwise, making it rotate this direction, meaning that the enemy would always move in a circle like so. The stream won't get weird, right? I just had to leave. I am so fucking stream because it got really weird. Well, I'm about to end stream, and that was who I was gonna raid, so I'm just kidding. That's fine. I don't think it will get weird. Unless like a really weird group of people show up. So I think you're safe here, probably. What kind of weird was going on over there that was so weird that caused you to leave, if you don't mind me asking? The movement component dot body? Wait, why are we doing body in here, actually? Whatever, I don't care enough to figure it out. Dot desire or dot velocity? What are we doing? Movement component dot desired velocity is equal to direction to player. What do you do exactly? Why are you passing in delta? Does this get used? It does. Spawn enemy, fire grouper egg. This will spawn a guy. He'll pop up in the air. I don't like that. Something's weird about that guy, but whatever. I don't know why he moves like that. Are you moving? You're not moving. Maybe you are moving, actually. Let me make this, like, super obvious. Oh, he is. Oh, look at him go. Oh, look at him go. He's rotating the wrong way. I don't know my own... I wanted him to rotate that way, but that's fine. Yippee! Look at him go. It's only a little weird. His friend joined a Discord call with him and started saying ooh and ara. Yeah, that's a little weird. That's like a VTuber type of stream, though. I don't know why that's... I don't know if they're a VTuber or not, but that sounds like something that would go on a VTuber stream. Okay, so this guy... He's away for the week. He is in Tennessee until Thursday evening. I don't know if he's going to be in the next stream, but he said he will be back on stream for sure Sunday. If you want a replacement for him, here, I'll toss a replacement on screen. There you go. It's like he never left. There's supposed to be an outline on that, but I'm not seeing it, so I'm going to make it like super thick outline. Miguel. Hi, Miguel. Dude, Miguel is so hot, man. I don't get it. Look at him, dude. Look at him. Pat, pat. Pat, pat, pat. Let's see. So... desired velocity. I'll make this a little bit... Miguel's so cool. You wish you were Miguel. Don't we all? Don't we all wish we were Miguel a little bit? He's like one of the unofficial, like, mascots of the Discord server because one of our friends was doing... there's like a whiteboard app in Discord. And one of our friends was drawing and he drew Miguel. And we were just like, we love this thing. -1 if that, else 1. God, this is so fucking gross. Ew, I hate ternaries in Godot. It's so nasty. It's so gross. Feels kind of weird how he slides on the floor. Yeah, so I was going to do a couple of things with him. But I was like, maybe it's going to be too much. It's not going to be too much. What is his name, even? I don't know what you're called, buddy. Level. Empty start room. What are you? Fire Goober Spawn? He's a spawn? His name is Steve? Nah, that's the Deep Rock guy. That's the Deep Rock, bug that you tame. I know dropping the words Deep Rock in the stream is going to be terrible, but let's see. Let me... So I want to... Can I... Wait. I think I can do 2 raycasts, right? Raycast 2D. And then I can toss a raycast in. What are you? You're also a raycast. Oh. Okay. This actually needs a little bit of work, I think. Let me think about this for a moment. So I think what JW is doing here is something that I would like to change just a little bit. I really like these guys. I think that their state machine logic needs a little bit of work, mainly because they only have 2 states. I was assuming that they had more. So I guess for just like saying my thoughts out loud about how this should be set up. So obviously right now he's in the follow state. That's great. Now he's in the attack state. He's in the attack state. Now he's in the follow state. Now he's in the attack state, follow state, or attack state, follow state. It's not clearly defined lines. I think that whenever he's sitting still like that should be a charging state. And then whenever he's like, or like, I think he should have an intermediate state between the two. So that should be charging and then that should be attacking, is my thoughts. Because the attack state is kind of doing 2 states, as you can see. They're doing, if charging, we do aim. Otherwise, if we're not charging and we're not attacked, we want to do charge aim. Then if we're attacked, we want to set it to follow state. Yeah, there's like a lot of... Not weird necessarily, but I think I would rewrite some of these things, which is fine. Things get changed all the time. But I would change things just a little bit. Have I played Expedition 33? Not a chance. I don't even know what that game is about. It's a JRPG, isn't it? I think. Let me see. Actually, before I put my foot in my mouth. Genre. It looks like this looks like a JRPG. I don't really like JRPGs, to be honest with you. Is it turn-based? Is Expedition 33 turn-based? Yes. It is turn-based. I don't really like those kinds of games. Personally, not my thing. So I have not played it. But Moaz, haven't you been playing Expedition 33? Are you the friend that's been playing it on my Discord? I don't remember. What are JRPGs exactly? To me, it's like it's a turn-based game where you get equipment and upgrade your stats over the course of a role-playing game with like a story and stuff. You have? Okay, fair enough. My mascot is a Pokemon, a turn-based game. Guess what? Guess what? You're not gonna believe this. One of my favorite games of all time is a turn-based game. Which is not Pokemon. I actually don't like the Pokemon games. The only Pokemon game that I really like, well, there's two. The first one is Pokemon Snap, which doesn't count, because that's a completely different genre. It's really good. The second one is Legends Arceus, because Pokemon Legends Arceus is only turn-based when it needs to be. My issue with turn-based games is, one, the animations take way too fucking long and there's no way to skip them. And two, every battle is turn-based, even if it's only with some shitty enemy. Like, I really don't like let's say it's in Pokemon and you're going down like route whatever, like route 2 or whatever, and you encounter a Pokemon. Even if it's a level 1 Pokemon, you have to like click the attack button, click the attack you want to use. Maybe they attack first, then your level 80 Pokemon attacks, it hits it, it drains its life, the Pokemon dies, and then it faints. You've won the battle, here's 4 XP, it's over. But that all takes like 30 to 40 seconds for you to kill like a level 2, Rattata. It's just not my kind of genre. I think that there are turn-based games that make sense, where it's, well, not a Weedle died from fear. It's more like, I don't know. It's, it's very, I think the battles taking a long time is fine whenever the battle matters. If the battle doesn't matter, I think you can do what you did with Arceus, where you can just like toss your Pokemon at something and have it just like try to kill shit, and if it dies, it dies. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna push back on this one a little bit, Zero Cell. I don't agree that saying JRPG means it is just a Japanese role-playing game. Because I think JRPG as a label is important for people to find games that they like. So I'm going to show you 2 games that, with your definition, could be described as JRPGs. They're vastly different, and hold up, let me find good images. They're vastly different, but they could both be described as JRPGs, despite only one of them deserving to be called JRPG. And the first game is called Earthbound, also known as Mother 2. This is a JRPG. There's no denying it. It's got turn-based combat. It's got a story. It's fun. It's cool. It's a JRPG. It's made in Japan. That's great. The other game that is still called a JRPG based on your definition, Breath of the Wild, is also a JRPG. It's made in Japan. I don't think these games should both fall under the category JRPG. Yes, this is a role-playing game made in Japan. It is not a JRPG, though, in my mind. It's not an RPG. You're playing the role of Link. It is an RPG. You level up over time. You get new items. It's an RPG. It's like Apex isn't a hero shooter. We're going back to that conversation. No, I know. No, I'm not actually upset with you, by the way, Zero Cell. I'm just saying, like, that's my take on it, my stance. You're totally fine to say what JRPG stands for, and I do agree that it does just stand for Japanese role-playing game. Also, why is my mascot Vaporeon? Because Pokemon are fucking sick, dude. What do you mean, why is my mascot Vaporeon? I love Pokemon Snap. I love Legends Arceus. I think Vaporeon's a cool fucking fish. I wish Pokemon had better games to match the really cool designs that the games have. Because he's a furry, that's not true, dude. I just think they're cool. No, you're good, dog. Don't worry about it. I'm not... If I came off as upset at you, I did not mean to. It's all in good fun. Walray. Did I call you Walray inside of the thing? Do I have a fursuit? I'm not, brother. I'm gonna blow up. In popularity, I mean. No, he doesn't. He doesn't. How often is this being called, by the way? Print. Calling aim. Are we still paused? We are. How often are you called? You're called a fuck ton. Okay. Let's do this then. Let's see. So I wanted to make a... Rather than doing this random check in here, I'm going to do this. Orbit direction is going to be... I hate doing this. I'm going to say 1. And then we will just do this. Seg to rad times orbit direction. Okay, and then on the enter of the state, I'm going to set this to orbit direction is equal to -1 if randef range from 0 to 1 is greater than 0.5. Otherwise, we'll set it to 1. So what this will do is whenever we spawn in, it'll choose 50% of the time to go clockwise and 50% of the time going counterclockwise. We will then read that in here, and it will always orbit in the same direction of the player. Unless it detects that the aim ray or the wall ray dot is colliding, it will do orbit direction times equals -1. So that if it detects that the wall ray has hit something, it will flip to the other direction. Gotta go bye. I hope the rest of my stream goes well. Good luck, good luck. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for stopping by. I'm sorry the other stream went weird, but hopefully this one didn't. You always thought that it was the frog eating the Vaporeon. No. No, the Vaporeon's just snug as a bug in a rug because he's wearing a frog onesie. Bye, Miguel. Miguel says bye. You didn't hear him, but I can speak Isopod. And no, it's not because I'm broke. It's because I'm not a furry. I wouldn't have a fursuit. Let's see. So I want... Let's see. The wall ray... Shit. Do you have physics process anywhere? You do. I will... Down here. You're also still doing a lot. Physics... Not physics, sorry. Wall ray dot scale... Let me see. This enemy is set up in such a way that the ray would by default be pointing down. Which means that I want to set its Y scale to orbit direction. Right? Oh god. We're just gonna turn on debug collision shapes and we're gonna see what this looks like. And then once I get this done, I think I'm gonna end stream. But I have a Vaporeon OC, but I'm not a furry. Yes, is it that hard to understand? He's just a goober. There's nothing more about it. I think I clicked on the wrong enemy. Hello, egg. Why is there a second hitbox there? Weird. Whatever. Okay, I do have it the wrong way. Oh shit, dude, he moved. Why did he move like that one time? What the hell was that? Damn. Okay. Cool. That's not actually hitting the thing. Let's see. Oh, because it's not detecting the wall. The wall. Where's the wall? Round. Cool. Okay. Let me set this up so that I have just a little bit more of an area to test him in. So he's like right here in the room. So I'm going to set this up so he's like guaranteed to bonk right there. So that he will go up and then back down. He's not. Very cool. What the fuck? Is it because he's no longer charging? It's honestly really hard to tell what state he's in. I have way too many things open. Close other tabs. What is your profile picture, Johnny? Hold on. What is that? Is that a... It's the helmet of... Hold on. I recognize that helmet, I think. Hold on. Maybe I don't. I don't think I do. It's a helmet of something that I don't 100% know of. So this guy's colliding. Let me make his aim time a little bit longer. I think that's an issue, is that he is... Well, that's not an exposed variable. Oh, how are we... What? Aim. If charging. Where are we setting charging to false? On charge timer timeout. Okay, I see. Charge timer, he charges for a second. Let's set it to 5 so that he's going to take a lot longer to charge. Let's see, now he's going to do that for... Oh, nope, just kidding. I lied. What the hell? Let me... Sorry, is he setting this? Charging his false collision points. Charge timer timeout. Do I have a reference to the charge timer in here? I haven't done any of this code. Oh, I see. So it's doing this. I'm just going to multiply this by like 10. I don't care. Oh, okay. So it is working. It's just that when he goes into the charge state, he stops doing that. What if I were to, instead of setting the desired velocity, if I were to set the actual velocity? Let's see, charge aim, on charge timer timeout. Then I can set the movement component dot desired velocity to vector 2.0. Cool. Okay, that's fine enough, I guess. Yeah, I want to do a little bit of rework to some of that stuff. Also, he's doing... His shapecast is being updated all the time, and it shouldn't be. I'm actually going to write those notes down, I think. He's also, like, broken there, but I think that's a navigation issue. Enemy issues... Bugs. Flying charge guy should have his states broken into follow, charge, and attack. Or charge slash aim, maybe. Charge and or aim. Flying charge guy should only update shape cast when he needs to check it rather than all of the time. And what was the other issue? I think that might actually just have been it. What? What are we watching? What? How long has this been in development for? It has been in development for, I think like a year and some change. JW or Tempura Cat would know a lot more. My usual answer is he has been working on the game for a little over a year, and I've been working on the game for about 3 months. Oh shit, there was something I wanted to think about that I wanted to do. Maybe not. I want to look at the flying enemy. Hold on. Flying enemy fire. You're right here. Flying fire projectile enemy. Here, dude. Whatever you say. So what do you do exactly? Are you a base? No, you're not. So you have idle, follow, and shoot. Shoot is... Oh, God. State enemy, shoot, enemy, move speed, nav agent, shooter. Near threshold, next state, far threshold, next state. Shoot takes. That's time, but okay. Honestly, this one actually... This actually wouldn't be that hard to do either. He's also... Yeah, I'm noticing something else as well. I might actually just want to talk a little bit about state machines, which is that this enemy is in the shoot state the entire time that it's doing that, whereas I don't think it should be. I think the shoot state should be very specific to when it's shooting. Because now it's in... What? I guess there's an idle state. I don't know why there is. So it's in follow right now. Now it's in shoot. And it stays in shoot. Whereas I think it could go to a follow state and then back to shoot if it feels like it should. Also... Oh, oops. I forgot there was a chance of dying. Let me spawn that guy back in. I was seeing something weird there. So that disappeared. Ah, okay. So if I break the bullet with my body within a certain amount of time of it spawning, its hitbox stays there, but it doesn't look like it's active anymore. Let's find out why that is. What does this guy do? This shoots instantiate projectile, enemy projectile. This is a script? Oh, okay. Instantiate projectile. Sure. Velocity animation dot play fade. Velocity equals 0 on area 2D area entered. Where are we queuing free? Queue free particles finished. Which is a function that is not assigned. Sorry, you need some sleep. Hope you'll be able to tune in the next stream. Have a good one. Thanks for hanging out for a while. I hope you sleep well. So let's see, what exactly is this using? This is using just enemy projectile. There's nothing specific about it. I don't understand exactly what this is doing. Oh, there's an extra scene here. Oh, yeah, he's using that. He's using the thing that Quebble did, the scene initializer. Yeah, I see. So this... Why are you not being queue freed? So at the end of fade, it does that. Are particles being spawned? So particles are being spawned if it hits the ground. If it hits the player, particles are spawned. particles are spawned there as well, though. Particles finished. Queue free. You're not connected in code. Why? I'm kind of curious why that's not happening. You are one-shot particles. Print viewing. So this should queue free whenever. Yeah. Move this to the other window so I can actually see this. Sorry. Yeah, that looks right to me. This one, so that just never calls particles finished. I see. So why is that? Particles emitting true, particles emitting true. I actually don't know what the difference is between these two and why. That's such a weird behavior. So if the bullet hits the enemy, or if the bullet hits the player while it's out here, it disappears correctly. However, if the bullet hits the player while it's really close to the enemy, it just doesn't? What? What do you mean? I wonder why that is. Set deferred monitoring, animation play. Is there a difference between these two? I guess I could figure out which one's being called, huh? I think it would be the area. Acquisition area damage. Set deferred monitoring false. Animation play fade. Velocities vector 2 0. So these are basically the exact same function. Plus or minus a couple of things. Wait. What are the chances? Well, no, that wouldn't even do it. Print. Hitting body. My guess is that it's hitting both the player and the player's hitbox, but I don't know. Why that would be the case. Why that would only be an issue if it was close to the enemy. So let me change this guy so he only shoots once every, like, I don't know, 4 seconds. Does that update correctly? Yeah. Okay, I also need to restart the game because I have 1 HP and I don't have a debug to add HP back yet. Oh, you're back to 1 second. Okay, cool. So let's see if that has any relevance. So I'll spawn this guy in. Did it stay? It did stay, and we printed out both the area and the body. Okay. And it's out here. It hit just the area. What if it's not? What if it's because the player's moving into it? It is. That's exactly what it is. It's because the player is moving into that. I see. So it's definitely some issue of the particles being emitted twice or something. Let's see. Oh, hello, Apex Pixelated. Thank you. Welcome in. Welcome in. Thank you for the raid. /shout out. Apex Pixelated. How's it going? What were you working on? I'm assuming you're also a programmer based on the fact that you're rating me. I am trying to figure out this bug that my friend wrote. I think so. It's hitting the area and then the body. I think the problem is just that I don't need this to care about hitting the player. Oh, you aren't hitting the player. What? Oh, this. You... Wait. Oh, you're doing Godot dev as well, but in C#, building a UI package and using it in your game at the same time. That sounds dope. What kind of game are you working on? And what kind of UI package are you... What's... Oh my god, I have a question. I don't know how to word it. What kind of UI stuff are you building for your game to the point that you wanted to make a UI package? There we go. We got it out. We got there. Yeah, okay, so the issue is just that the player is moving into the bullet at the same time, so they end up colliding in the same frame. So, my solution, I think, is just get rid of the body entered. And make it so that... Is there not a... Oh, no, I know what it is. Yeah. If move and slide, this will return whether or not there was a collision. I don't know if I actually disconnected, but OBS Studio just gave me a Windows notification saying I disconnected and then reconnected. And I don't know if that's true. I hope I'm still connected. Let's see. Have I ever played the card game Boss Monster? No, I have not. Let me look this up. Boss Monster game. Oh, dude, I love the box art. That feels very NES style. Oh, I actually really fuck with that. And the Game Boy style boxes are dope. That looks cool. You wanted a package to be project agnostic so you could reuse it as much as needed. You're building a game inspired by Boss Monster, but with some 8x8 pixel art. Okay, fair enough, yeah. A retro indie game that's... an indie game that has retro elements that's pixel art. How original. Don't look at the game that I'm working on. It definitely isn't also retro pixel art. Let me make sure I'm still connected to Twitch. I am. Let me make sure I'm still connected to YouTube. Sorry, I'm a little paranoid about the fact that OBS said I disconnected. Okay, I am still live on both. Dope. Okay. Let's see. Sorry, what was I doing? So let me see if this worked. And then I will show off what I'm working on. So hopefully once he shoots a bullet, I can jump into it. Okay, cool. That looks like that works. Let me make sure that if it hits the floor. Oh. Oopsies. I'm a little bit stupid. I forgot to tell it to collide with the ground. So should this... Huh? What is this game about? This game is a roguelike deck builder, which is definitely not an oversaturated genre. It is, imagine Enter the Gungeon, but instead of top-down, it is a side view. New tech unlocked. New tech unlocked! Dude, look at him go! Dude, he's moving himself. He's moving himself. That's sick. I know what's doing that. It's kind of funny. He shouldn't be doing that, but he's doing it. Yeah, so it's like Enter the Gungeon side view. Rather than getting guns and accessories, well, we probably get accessories. Rather than getting guns and having... Hold on. Sorry. 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 Yeah, I hated that too, don't worry. If alive and... Or if not alive... for a turn. And then we can, inside a destroyable, let's say live equals false. Cool. That didn't work. All right. Well, you know what? No more fixing that bug. I'll do that later. It's really the most, like, inconsequential bug anyways, so it's fine. Yeah, so rather than getting guns, like in Into the Gungeon, you will be building a deck of cards, which I can show you a little bit here really quickly. So if I turn off debug collision shapes, spawn into a room, I'll show you what the current working thing is. The guy who's working on the game, he's like the main developer. He's not in right now. He's out on a vacation. So unfortunately, I can't get everything from him. I'm just mainly the programmer. So you'll build a deck of cards. You'll enter a room, and it will give you a set of your cards, and you can use these cards. Oh shit! I used one of the only cards that's bugged right now. Oopsies. Look away for a second. It'll get better, I swear. Just not the spring. That's the only card that... Literally the only card that is bugged right now is the one that I used. Okay, so it gives you a set of cards, and you can use these to fight enemies. These will cost mana, and once you use up your card, it will draw a new one from your deck. Certain cards can have exhausts, so you can only use them once per floor, and you have to go to a shop and buy a recharge to get them back. And one of the main things that we are using to encourage improvement is we have a sticker system. So if I go ahead and teleport to the shop room, you will be able to select your card of choice. So for example, this one, and plug my controller because it's pressing things. And you can select a sticker pack. It will choose a random sticker upgrade that you can use. So for example, this one gives you an extra charge to the card. So now this has 4 charges instead of the 3, which the charge text is missing right now. And so certain ones, so there's a really cool one that I saw earlier. Here we go. So this one means that it no longer counts towards your hand size, which means that you're able to draw another card alongside this one. Or I believe we're going to do something different with that. But this is going to be the main form of progression for your cards other than just getting new cards during your run, is you can apply these stickers as upgrades for your current run, similar to how relics work. And there will be synergies between stickers, as well as we plan on having equipment that you can obtain sort of like passive effects, so that like whenever you hit an enemy, there's a chance that it arcs lightning between them. Whenever you exhaust a card, there's a chance that you get a health back, you know, things like that. Or there's going to be a relic that you can choose a card similar to Slay the Spire, so that whenever you start a floor, it will always be the first card in your draw. Or whenever you start a room, it will always be in your hand. Also, will you be streaming anything for GMKK? Yes, we will. When does that start again? Is that tomorrow? Or is that next? Is that a few more days from now? Let me see. Game Maker's Toolkit. That starts tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, so we will be streaming it. Let's see. So he will not be back tomorrow. I will not be streaming tomorrow. I will be streaming on Thursday. He might be back on Thursday. Both of us will be working on it. So, yeah. If you want to see Game Jam, we will be streaming our project for this, which lasts until the 3rd. Okay, so this weekend. Excited for it, honestly. It sounds like it's going to be really fun. What was the error? Okay, yeah, that's fine. Okay. But that was... Thanks for the raid, though. But it is a really unfortunate time for you to raid me, because I was actually just about to end stream. And I think I will be ending stream, because I've been streaming for about 3 hours now. So let me see if I can find someone really cool to raid and push your viewers onto as well. Tomorrow at 1 is when it starts. Okay, yeah. I will not be streaming tomorrow, but we will... He will, I think, somewhat likely be back on Thursday, and if he is, we will be streaming and doing work on our game for that. I think we'll also include everything from like all of the planning. We'll probably talk about what the theme is and what kind of game we want to make with it. Are you doing Godot game development by chance? Let me see. You have the Godot tag. You might be. I'm gonna push you onto this person's stream over on Twitch. I believe they're doing Godot game development. It says software and game development. So, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for hanging out. I will be back on Thursday, same time. So 3 hours ago from now, but on Thursday. JW and Tempercat might be back. We shall see. He will definitely be back on Thursday, and we will be streaming GMTK. We'll probably end up streaming GMTK actually probably Friday and Saturday too, depending. So I will catch you all later. Thanks again for hanging out. And I will see you some other time. So let me actually, I gotta get this raid to go off first before I can end stream. So it's another like 10 seconds. Say bye to Miguel. Pat. All right. Bye.